and welcome to the second part of my series on cloud ice coffee. This time I'm going to make them in instant coffee, so it's a lot easier for those at home and for those with a coffee shop that uses instant coffee. Then this is the video to watch. Before we continue, click that subscribe button. So as usual, let's take a look at our ingredients. I've got my instant coffee here, any brand will do. I've got my non-dairy creamer. I've got my sugar, optional if you don't want it to be too sweet. What is not optional will be your sweetened condensed milk and your evaporated milk. So I'm going to make 5 classic iced coffee drinks. This time I'm going to make them cloudy. So they are the same recipes except they will be presented in different way. And another difference here from those that are written in my book, The Basic Barista, is that I'm going to make them less sweet. The trend now is going less sweet, although you know, these are desserts, so you'd like them to be a little bit sweet. An important tool that we cannot do without for making this cloudy iced coffee drinks would be our milk frother. So I'm using here a handheld electric milk frother. This is rechargeable and it is portable and wireless, and I really like this one. So if you'd like to get one of these, do check my Shopee, Lazada, and also the website. These work in Europe and in Asia. Probably doesn't work in the US because these are 220 to 240 volts. So there you go. Okay, so I'm going to start by making my milk syrup. This time, as I have said, the same recipe except they will be less sweet. I'm going to use 50% sweetened condensed milk and 50% evaporated milk. If you'd like it to be a bit sweeter, you make this 2 parts condensed milk and 1 part evaporated milk. So I'm just going to make a small batch. I'm going to make 100 grams or 100 ml of my sweetened condensed milk. And then to this I'm going to add the same amount of my evaporated milk, 100 ml, making it 200 ml. That should be enough for the 5 drinks that I'm going to make today. There you go. And what you need to do is to stir. So for those that do not know why I mix this two in advance, it's because it makes it a lot faster for you to prepare your drinks. I keep repeating this. So for those that are new to my channel, I'm sure that you would be seeing a lot of my milk syrup for my iced drinks. For all the recipes today, I'm going to make them in 16 ounces or 500 milliliters. I'm going to start by making my cloud Ice Americano. I need about half a cup of water into my serving cup. And then I'm going to fill this with ice, just about 3/4 full. And I'm going to put this aside whilst I make my cloud coffee. 2 teaspoons of my instant coffee. And then into this I'm going to add 2 tablespoons or about 30 ml of room temperature water. Because this is Americano, I would like to make it a little bit sweeter. So I'm going to add 2 to 3 teaspoons of your sugar. Instant coffee is a little bit more bitter, so I would suggest that you use sugar. Froth until caramel brown in color. Just make sure you combine them well because you don't want a lumpy coffee here. Instant coffee could be quite bitter. There you go. And now I'm going to pour this into my water. And this is my Ice Cloud Black Coffee or Americano. On to our second drink. This time I'm going to make Ice Cloud Cappuccino. I'm going to assemble my base here, which will be the milk. I'm going to use 2 teaspoons of my non-dairy creamer. Now because this is a powdered ingredient and I would like it to be clean, I'm going to use hot water to dissolve this. Okay, so about 90 ml of hot water. Stir to dissolve. And then into this I'm going to add my milk syrup. 45 ml of my milk syrup, and again stir. Fill your cup with ice. And I'm going to set it aside. So I suggest that you prepare your base, which is the milk with the ice, before you prepare the topping, which is your cloudy coffee. 2 teaspoons of my instant coffee. And just as an option, I'm going to add sugar. Now this is entirely optional. If you don't want it to be too sweet, you can skip the sugar. It will froth nonetheless. And then I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of room temperature water, 1. And this is about 30 ml. And then I'm going to froth. Now this milk froth is quite strong, so it doesn't take long for you to get that caramel color. Now because this is instant coffee, I suggest that you stir at the bottom anyway, just to make sure that the coffee is completely dissolved. And now we're going to pour this into our milk mix. You'll cover the top with cocoa powder to make this your Ice Cloud Cappuccino. Third drink, we're going to make Ice Cloud Spanish Latte. 120 ml or half a cup of hot water. Again, I'm using hot water because I'd like to dissolve my creamer. 2 teaspoons of my creamer. And then we're going to add our sweetened condensed milk, 45 ml. And stir. Note that I'm not using my milk frother to mix all these ingredients together. The reason being I don't want it to be too airy. So just use hot water to make sure that your creamer is fully dissolved. Okay, so I suppose you don't need to fill it to the top because you need some space for your cloudy coffee. And now we're going to make that. So into my tall glass here, I'm going to use 2 teaspoons of my instant coffee. And again, I'm going to use 2 tablespoons of room temperature water. I'm not going to add sugar this time because my milk would be quite sweet. So froth. So again, make sure that you reach the bottom. Beautiful caramel brown color there. Just stir it for sure. And now we're going to pour into our Spanish latte mix. Beautiful layering there on top with that Dalgona style coffee. On to our fourth drink. It's going to be Ice Cloud Caramel Macchiato. Again, mix your milk first in your serving cup. I'm going to add 120 ml or 1/2 cup of warm water or hot water to dissolve the creamer. And here I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of my non-dairy creamer, the milk syrup. And then because this is caramel macchiato, I'm going to add my flavor, which is vanilla, 15 ml or 2 pumps. 1, 2, 1 pump is 7.5. Once again, we're going to stir. It is smelling really, really good with that vanilla syrup there. Okay, that's a lot of ice all over the place. 2 teaspoons of my instant coffee. And then add 2 tablespoons of water. The reason I'm using 2 tablespoons here is because I'd like to have a thick layer on top. Now I'm going to skip the sugar. Once again, the sugar is optional, but without the sugar, it will also froth quite nicely. So not to worry, if you don't add sugar, that is perfectly fine. And now, what I'm going to do here, just to make it look a little bit more attractive and more fun, I'm going to add some drizzles of caramel sauce along the sides. Then now, to pour our creamy, thick coffee on top. And there you go, I have my Ice Cloud Caramel Macchiato. For our final drink, I'm going to make Ice Cloud Double Chocolate Mocha. Double chocolate because I'm using 2 types of chocolates here. I'm going to start with my milk base. So water, 120 ml to dissolve my non-dairy creamer. I'm going to add 2 teaspoons here. 1, 2, and then into this, I'm going to add my milk syrup. There you go. And then I'm going to add my chocolate, which in this case is white chocolate. If you'd like to use just plain chocolate, that's also fine. So 2 pumps or 15 ml of my white chocolate syrup. Smelling really good as well. Now stir. Ice into your cup there. So now I'm going to skip the sugar as well. I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of my instant coffee, 2, and then same amount of water, 2 tablespoons or 30 ml of water, and we're going to froth. The longer you froth, it'll be too creamy. It gets more creamy, so do not froth for too long. Otherwise, it's quite hard to pour into your glass. So here is my white chocolate, and I'm going to just drizzle chocolate sauce around the sides of my glass here. Again, this is just for presentation purpose, so instead of using the chocolate sauce as topping on top of your coffee, I'm putting it along the sides, so it's just going to cascade down eventually. And now to pour it into our serving glass. And this is my Ice Cloud Double Chocolate Mocha. They look absolutely delightful, but do they taste as good? Wow. This is my Ice Cloud Black Coffee. Even when you stir it, it retains the shape there. Beautiful looking cloudy coffee here. It's a little bit sour. That's the taste of instant coffee, I suppose. So it really is important that you add sugar into this. And now my Ice Cloud Cappuccino using instant coffee. The sweetness is just about right. I think I like the contrast between that coffee and that delicious chocolate sprinkle on top. Ice Cloud Spanish Latte. The texture is really, really good. It doesn't show any airiness on top here. It looks really smooth, and let's see how it tastes like. Sweetness is a little bit too sweet for me, but I think it's perfect for a commercial purpose and for those that really like their drink sweet and a treat. That is just absolutely fantastic. I love this one. I think today it is a caramel macchiato day for me. It's so hard because I've been tasting 5 different iced coffee drinks here, but I must say they all taste absolutely delightful. Now my favorite amongst these 5 would be the double chocolate mocha. There you go. But all of them are really delicious. You must give these recipes a try, and if you'd like it to be more fun and exciting when you give this to your customers or to your friends and family, follow the procedure that I showed you here today. These days I see a lot of coffee recipes on internet, TikTok and YouTube, but some of them are so gross that I don't think I will even give them a try. But as you might notice, whatever I post on my channel is those that I think would be quite good. Nothing so exaggerated that I really question whether those coffee would taste good. I always say the eyes eat first. So if you like what you see and then you taste it and the taste is equally good, then you'll get your customers coming back for more. I'll see you again for more of these video clips. In the meantime, stay safe, take care. Thank you for watching. Ciao for now.